Hi, you poor bastards, and welcome to the next try of the rest of your life. I'm here with Jemima, and we just want to go through quickly some of the problems we had with our project. Not from a technical standpoint, but more of an organizational thingamajiggy. And hopefully you can avoid some of the problems that we had.
Don't get screwed from the start.
Yeah, so our planning was alright, so we thought. I don't think we overscoped. I think that was alright. I think we just got tripped up too many times along the way. And to start off, it was mixing 2D and 3D. Some people really didn't want to be doing 2D, some people really ought to not be doing 3D. And the problem was we were focused on a wholly 3D project and trying to get everyone being able to work comfortably within their sort of skill set was a real trouble. We had people we wanted modeling, people we wanted animating, people we wanted texturing and doing the animatic. Unfortunately, the concept was late to come through, the characters were late to develop, and then model, and then rig, and then all that sort of stuff. So, even from the early weeks, we were behind. So the problem with assets is we were completing things sort of to what we thought was a good level of completion and then passing it off to other people to use, only to receive feedback from them that we had to try and incorporate into that so-called green-lit file that then ended up being modified again and again. And this was evident with the textures,
and the assets. The most of the assets were unwrapped. Some weren't. Some needed fixing. But the scenes had already been dressed, so it was in the last few weeks that we actually had to re-UV most of the assets and then redress the sets again. So that caused a bit of time-consumed days.
yeah, just like a week gone because of like, oh, whoops, I put those in before. And that was a real problem as well. Overwriting the assets that we had. If you're going to, animate, use a nice blank scene. Just have like a simple box for the car, have a simple cylinder for a tree, and animate your characters there. That way you're not going to accidentally overwrite them with assets with the same name that might be newer or older. And then if you're copying from scene to scene, you might lose track of what's the most recent. Um, and on that note, keep all your textures in one folder, name them appropriately so that they're easy to find and very easy to locate. Because 3ds Max will chuck hissy fits, and it's easy just to point at one folder and go, it's there, leave me the hell alone! Especially later on when time is a problem.
Okay. Okay, so when I started doing the animatic, we were still designing the characters, so I had to be very vague in the animatic. That also came with size proportions. I only knew that the Unite was smaller than the full, but it ended up being drastically much smaller when the 3D models came out. But yeah, with the animatic, I was working vague and it was sort of rushed because we were running out of time, so the scenes looked cartoony more and it was a bit of a struggle to get it to look more 3D.
Yeah, like some of the camera shots we had to change after we'd put the characters in, even though the idea was that we'd get them with the camera set up to animate too. Because, for instance, one shot had a shot of one of our characters sort of at the waist with a bear trap on his arm. Unfortunately, with the model that we had, his hand was down by his feet. So what could have been stupidly fast in not having to show their legs during the walk cycle, even zooming out, it was the idea was to never show the feet, which would have saved so much time, so much time. We instead had to do completed walk cycles so that you could see the characters in all of those shots. So, advice moving forwards. Yes, Jemima's saying, listen to each other. Listen to the feedback from your peers. Correct what you can. Make sure your rigs are easy to understand and well labelled. Check your naming conventions on all assets. Don't leave anything half-assed or named Cylinder 004. It's not helpful for anyone. And
Keep it simple.
yeah, keep it simple. And try not to stress. I know that sounds stupid. It got to us a little bit because the only place we really had to vent was inwards. And the plan is, in a week or so, we're going to hit up the Swan Valley Cuddly Animal Farm. I would highly recommend it to any of you listening. It's a fantastic place full of adorable little animals you can hug and pat and feed.
Get ready to lay down and die.